But we had a. Let me talk about the farm. That was an interesting. We, Dad and Mom didn't have much money, and so made do with a lot of old machinery that he bought secondhand. And we had an old John Deere putt-putt that you had to put your fingers on the flywheel and turn the old flywheel to get the thing going. And he did some of the harvesting with a binder and a thrash machine. That was a bit of a novelty for him because those were out of date by that time. But it was interesting. He would for years he kept that one little field right near the parking lot to the Reimer Plaza there. He kept that little field for binding and making sheaves, and then being able to have all the old timers from the community come for years and watch this operation or participate in, stooking the sheaves, which means for you young'uns, putting them in a pile to dry or standing them up together to dry.
But there was a very specific way they
you had to
be,
do it
yes.
very specific. Yeah, you remember. Yeah, yeah. And there was only about 5 or 6 of those sheaves stood leaning against each other in a little circle, and when they dried, then you would load them on a hay rack a certain way as well, with the pitchfork a certain way, and go throw them into the thrash machine when the belts were just turning, and no safety guards on those kind of things back then. No. You just learned as kids and adults to stay away from that. So, and then blow it into a big straw stack and the grain into the truck, and you'd take the grain to the granary and later on to the elevators that were lined up and down the tracks there. So that was a novelty that lasted for quite some time, I remember. So I also remember Dad and Mom renting land, hay crops all around, even out by Cremona, as far away there. The farm that we help farm or with do hay with is right by the Cremona Cemetery there, just as you're coming west, going ready to get into town. We went all the way out there, and of course I remember driving that old John Deere tractors. You can count the pebbles on the way out. It was so slow.
That'd be a long way to go.
Yeah, worked with the Jackson family as well, Art Jackson's family, just north of town. Did a lot of crop sharing and helping him and the family do haying as well around the area. So we went way west of west of Highway 22 on the Bergen Road, the farm that's just to the first farm on the northwest corner of that intersection. Davies Farm, I think it was.
I think so.
Yeah, they rented that, so we did crops there as well. Interesting little side take about care and concern for animals. I remember how strange it was that we drove in one morning, and here Mrs. Davies was sitting on the front step of her house, had a gopher with a broken leg on her lap, upside down, putting a splint on the gopher's leg. Some of the more interesting little quips, eh? So.
I would be afraid that it would bite you.
Yeah, no kidding. I don't. Maybe it was young enough that it didn't know any better, but an adult wouldn't have stayed on the lap upside down.
Didn't love gophers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So.